So I'm about halfway through my college career at Princeton, and if there's one thing that has defined my experience, it has definitely been the students. Princeton students are some very interesting critters. And today, I wanted to take the opportunity to break down what I think are the three most common types of students that you'll find at Princeton University. The first one that comes to mind is the geniuses. And I think the geniuses make up like 30% of the population at Princeton. And when I say genius, I want to clarify that I think there are like a lot of different types of geniuses. I think that geniuses can be like the folks who are winning these international math competitions. They can be your 7-language polyglots. And I'm pretty sure at Princeton that like 1 in 4 people that I've talked to have played at Carnegie Hall, just like for some kind of instrument. So they've got to be like some kind of musical genius too. So they're like all different types of geniuses, but they all have something in common. They're all geniuses. And these geniuses, I can define as geniuses because it feels unfair to be in the same class as them. These folks are your curve ruiners. It feels like if a level 100 mafia boss came back to take like a level 5 crook class, it's not fair to be competing with them. They are so good that they make the class feel as if everyone else was placed in the wrong class except for them. And sometimes that's the case, but nonetheless, I can't help but acknowledge that it just feels like they are a genius in their own right. Also, if you have ever corrected a professor in the middle of a lecture, I probably am assuming that you're a genius too. So yeah, that's why it's 30%. Their workflow, I will admit, is a bit of a mystery. I don't fully know how these geniuses operate, but I think a lot of them tend to hide in like plain sight. And I think the reason for that is because they have a lot of them, or a lot of the ones I've spoken to, have like this tendency to understatement where they'll say like, oh, the test, it wasn't too bad, and it'll come out like the class average was like a 13, and they got like 105 somehow. So yeah, geniuses they're just tough to be around, but hopefully sometimes the knowledge can just like rub off on you because they're so good. Next, I think that hard workers make up like 50% of the population at Princeton. And hard workers can also come in like all different types, but I think it really boils down to like 2 different types of hard workers. I think hard workers have this tendency to have a lot of discipline. And the most common type of hard worker that I've come across, at least at Princeton, is this type that like wakes up at 5 a.m. and just like does everything. Everything that needs to get done, it gets done. And then a lot of times they also have like the spare time that they're like productive with. So they'll like do other stuff. They'll like go to the gym. They'll like start a business. They'll have like something going on the side, and they're still consistently getting 8 hours of sleep somehow, which like I don't understand. I don't know how they do it, but they are so good at managing their time that it feels like school is just second nature to them. They are on top of things and they know how to get things done. But there is no doubt that they work very, very hard to have this level of discipline. And I think there's also another category of people who just like does not sleep. I think this is actually a decent subset of the hard workers. I remember like distinctly this one all-nighter that I was pulling my freshman year where it felt like the entire hall was like awake. It was like 4 o'clock in the morning. And I go to the bathroom and I see like 2 guys just like chilling, having a conversation about one of their classes. And like, mind you, it's 4 o'clock in the morning. We have class in like 5 hours in some cases, 6 hours maybe. But they're treating it like, it's just another Monday in the office. Like, it's uncanny how much these people like push themselves. And then I like ask them, oh, what are you doing up so late? What are you doing at 5 o'clock in the morning? Like, oh, got an assignment to do. Got to get my assignment done, Got to get it done. So like that mentality to me is just like the epitome of this hard work ethic. These people are just like so dedicated to the craft of getting things done that they like will not rest until they get it done. So yeah, they also obviously have a lot of my respect. Hard workers, campus could not be run without them. And I think like a lot of people at Princeton are these hard workers. I think that's how they got to where they are. And I think that's what will lead them to success in the future. Last but not least, of course, we have the finessers. I think finessers make up 20% of the population at Princeton. And finessers are geniuses in their own right. They have this uncanny ability to find the most finesse ways to make their way through Princeton. And when I say this, I mean like they will put in a lot of work and effort into finding the easiest classes, the most consistent ways to get things done, that like, it is just commendable, the extent to which it pays off for them. So like, I know a couple of these finessers who, like at the start of every term, they go through like this manic panic of like trying to find the best easy class that they can take to like fulfill a requirement or something and get it checked off the list. And they like dedicate so much time to that. The whole rest of the term, they can spend like doing however much, whatever they want pretty much, because they already put the work in and they found a way to finesse with like a class that was available to everyone, but only they were able to find out about and only they were able to get in a way that like, it's like honestly impressive that they're able to finesse it the way that they are. And they like always also have like this tendency to be doing other things. So school almost feels like it's like a side hustle for them. So they'll be like, oh, you know, I'm taking like these 4 classes that you could have also taken, but like I have like an A in all of them. I'm doing great. I'm like also having this internship on the side that I'm doing. I'm like trying to start this other thing while I'm in school at the same time, in all these clubs at the same time. It's just like impressive how they do all the stuff they do. But when you look back on it, it's not a coincidence at all. It's because they know how to finesse. It's an art form. They have it down. So yeah, I think those are the 3 main classes at Princeton. I think there are like different combinations of these traits among like various people as well. So you can be a combination of like a hard worker who also finesses, maybe a genius who also finesses. That's really dangerous. But I think like in general, these categories cover just about like every student that you'll find at Princeton. So yeah, hopefully this was helpful, informative. If you're a Princeton student, comment below which of these classes you fall into, or if you think you're an outlier, explain yourself below. But yeah, that's pretty much all I had to talk about today. I hope you enjoyed. Leave a like, subscribe, stay tuned, and I'll see you in the next video.